there. This is now week 16 of my going through this book called Guitar Aerobics by Troy Nelson. And I'm going through it every day, spending about 15 minutes on the exercises. I'm also recording them to keep myself honest because, as you can see from the descriptions in my videos, I went through this book a few years ago, but I kind of approached some of the more difficult exercises sloppily. I don't think I got the full benefit out of it. Now, I can't play every exercise perfectly, as you will have seen if you watch the videos. Some of the sweep picking ones just don't quite come together, but I do work on them hard and I try my best to get them going. So, as I said, every 8 weeks or so I'll try and record a video to offer my impressions. And here they are for week 16. By and large, the book is still fairly straightforward. The introduction says that this is a kind of beginner level until you get to about week 18. So I'm on week 16, I should still be firmly in beginner territory, and then from week 18 onwards it's more what we might think of as an intermediate level. Now this is a little bit puzzling to me because I can certainly see that playing things like, which was actually one of the exercises recently, is very much a beginner thing to do. However, that sort of really fast sweep picking is not beginner stuff at all. That's really, really hard. I would have thought that was intermediate to advanced technique. And some of the techniques are both hard and really, really fast. Some of the bending things really zoom up and down the neck and require great finger strength and accuracy, and sometimes they're quite beyond me. I do my best with them, but they're really, really hard. So I'm not quite sure what the definition of a beginner guitar player is versus an intermediate or advanced guitar player. And I remember this puzzled me when I went through the book the last time. You know, I was getting up to week 40 or week 50, and still every week there were exercises that I could just play at sight, and then there were exercises that I had to work on for a few days before I could even begin to approach them. So that difficulty, I guess it's going to be different for every single guitar player, but I'm noticing it still. It's kind of striking. And I've had a look through some of the coming weeks, and indeed it does seem to be that this issue will continue. There are going to be some very easy exercises combined with some very hard ones. Something else that happens with these exercises is if you try and do them strictly, you will often run into trouble, and the trouble will be returning to the first position of the exercise. So something like is fine as you work your way up the neck and you wind up here. But if you're playing it strictly in time, you have to go from... Now at this speed, that's fine, but doing that leap is really, really hard. And when you kind of reset, then playing the next chord, you're a little bit behind, and it becomes incrementally more challenging as you go up the neck and trying to recapture that balance when you're already playing something that's at the limit of your technique. Well, I find it tends to make these exercises even a little bit too hard for me, but I work at it. Another thing I've noticed is that I suffer from what a friend of mine used to call red light fever, which is that when I'm recording the exercises, I've worked on them and suddenly I can't play them. I suddenly can't get them right. And what I'll often find is that I'll struggle to record an exercise. I'll finally record a kind of not great version of it, simply because it's all I can do. And then I'll turn off the camera, I'll sit down, and I'll just play it perfectly. And this tends to happen to me. I'm sure it's not just me. I'm sure it happens to a lot of people. So that's something else I'm noticing. Another thing that I'm noticing, which has been really good for me with these videos, is there's stuff in my hand position that I really need to work on. This finger is still flapping around, but it's coming a little more under control. I don't know that it will ever fully come under control, partly because I can do this. The finger is double jointed and it doesn't work like other people's little fingers, so it's got a strange independence anyway. But something else I've noticed is my thumb tends to come over a lot, and it locks when I'm doing the sweep picking. So as I move up the neck, my thumb kind of locks, and then I have to kind of unlock it to move to the next position. And this is obviously slowing me down. So my challenge over the next few weeks is to be getting my thumb towards the back and playing very much on what's called the skunk stripe of my guitar. I'm going to see if I can run up and down the skunk stripe instead of hooking over the top, and seeing what that does to my playing. Aside from that, I'm really enjoying it. It's helping my accuracy, it's helping my playing in general. And when I sit down and I just kind of play for fun, I'm just finding that things are simpler. Things are just more comfortable. And of course I'm continuing to combine it with my regular practice, all of those type exercises that you do, and all of your regular scales type stuff, and Leo's, that sort of stuff, those sort of sweep arpeggios type stuff. So I do all of those as part of my normal playing. Blues scales in all positions, chromatic things, those 4-finger exercises, that type of stuff. And so that's all in my regular playing too, plus the music I'm playing. At the moment I'm having to play quite a lot of jazz for an upcoming thing that I'm doing, and so it all fits together very nicely. It's a useful 15 minutes every day. I've recommended this book to people in the past. Going through it for the second time, I'm getting even more benefit out of it, and in fact it makes me even more keen to recommend the book to others. So at present, I'm seeing nothing bad from this experience. There are some confusing things, there are some things that I can't play that I wish I could play, but it's a constant series of benefits that are flowing to me from this book, so I absolutely recommend it.